Hey folks, Nick Valdez here. Welcome to Verified Investing. And today we're going to talk about commodities because we're seeing some major escalation in the Middle East. And I'm going to go over some charts, including US oil, including Brent, and including natural gas. Then we're going to look at the precious metals. And then after that, I have a sneaky pick for a commodity that might be a downstream effect of what we're seeing in the Middle East. And I have some very interesting trade setups for you on that one. I'm going to reveal it at the end of the show. It is, let's just say, related to the food chain, everybody. There might be a little bit of a play there, but let's go ahead and jump into the US oil chart, everybody. So what are we seeing right now? I said there's a little bit of an escalation. Well, the IRGC, the Iranian military, they did bomb some US bases in Kuwait and Jordan. There's unconfirmed reports that there's damage to 3 F-15s, but US CENTCOM has denied those reports. However, some interesting satellite imagery is circulating the internet. But of course, fog of war, we don't know what's real. We don't know, what exactly is happening as far as the damage. But let's just look at the U.S. oil chart. You can see we did put in a nice short. Gareth gave out the short level here. And what do you know? Oil did reject, but came into the middle of this parallel channel and did have a nice little bounce. Now, yesterday we opened here. We ended up closing here. Today we did open higher, but it is now starting to push back a little bit. So keep an eye out on U.S. oil as these reports of the damage from Kuwait and Jordan U.S. bases starts to percolate, starts to filter through the media. Maybe we'll see, some sort of escalation tonight. Things remain to be seen. It does seem like activity picks up after the markets close. And right now, we're not quite there at the market close. Let's look over at NATGAS. NATGAS did reject off this level. And I saw something interesting here. I noticed this pivot top to this pivot top. If you continue to run this out, well, what do you know? We actually had a little bit of some price activity in this range, and it does look like NatGas has not been able to get past this level. If we get down a little bit lower, I'm going to start looking at some natural gas options there. And the option that I look at is UNG, United States Natural Gas Fund. But we're going to be putting out a show on options from Jake Sweeney, one of the traders here. So keep an eye out on that one in the future. In fact, I'm starting to like the level here for NatGas options. But, this is almost a little bit of price discovery to the low. And we are putting in 2 green daily candles in a row. But the options market, it moves fast. It moves suddenly here. So just be careful trading that. I recommend try to learn a little bit more about it. Does look like maybe a little bit of a trend line forming there with, a couple candle closes below. So it might be something interesting to keep an eye out on. Let's look at Brent crude. Brent also running into some, nice trend line here. This time it's resistance. We had a pivot top here. This is May 26th. Ended up hitting it here. Also May of 26th. This is the 20th. And this is the 4th of May. And that's going to be the 30th of April, actually. And if you run this out, from this pivot top to this pivot top, that takes you right into the recent price activity. This was Thursday of last week. So for the past week, we've been just chopping around in this range. However, could be a little potential bull flag setup. So keep an eye out on that one as well. And if you zoom out, NatGas has been higher right now. Price has pushed up pretty heavily over the past month or so. This is July 3rd right here. So almost for the whole month, NatGas is up about 31%, or I'm sorry, Brent crude is up about 31%. So keep an eye out on that for the Brent crude charts. All right, let's go over to precious metals. We're going to look at gold. We're going to look at silver. Let me know what other precious metals you want me to cover. Do you want me to look at palladium? Do you want me to look at platinum? Do you want me to, look at Paul Wall's grill shop? Whatever you want me to look at, let me know down below. Now, gold also just hitting the support, but we have this downside target. We have a gap fill. We have this pivot top. I know a lot of traders here, they're waiting for a lower flush. And right now, we just haven't seen that lower flush. But things are looking a little bit choppy. We've seen relatively flat price action over the past month or so. I want to say it was 39 days, 37 days. We've seen just flat price action on gold. Silver, you go to the silver chart. It's pretty much a similar situation here. Just flat price activity for the past 30 plus days here. This is 36 days as well. And so over the past month or so, the precious metals have been relatively muted. Now, silver nice, interesting parallel channel here. And we are pretty close to the bottom of the channel. I would wait to do any kind of trade until we tested this pivot high again, maybe put in a little bit of a local double bottom. And if we end up hitting the bottom of this parallel, that's when I really want to start looking for a nice juicy trade. There's, psychological level of $50 as well. That might also be a great target. But if this continues out, well, what do you know? The bottom of that parallel channel is going to hit $50 sooner rather than later. That's going to be by August 21st. So that's what I'm looking at on the silver chart. But I said there is a downstream effect commodity that might be looking interesting. What is that commodity that I'm talking about? Well, it is wheat. In case you didn't know, wheat is also somewhat affected by what we've seen in the Middle East. How is it affecting it? Well, one of the ways I'm looking at is a lot of nitrogen fertilizer goes through the Strait of Hormuz. About 30% of the seaborne nitrogen fertilizer goes through the strait. That has been impacted heavily. I think if you're looking at a risky situation and you can only, say go to the store and, you can only buy one thing from the store at a time. When you can go to the store 20 times a day, well, guess what? You're going to buy some groceries. You're going to buy some toilet paper. You're going to buy some candy. You're going to buy that ice cream. You're going to buy anything and everything, right? Because you just keep going to the store. What if you can only go to the store once every 3 days? Well, you might just buy the staples. You might just buy meat. Once in a blue moon, you will get your toilet paper. You're not going to get the frivolous items. So when there's not as much shipping on the Strait of Hormuz, well, that's when the lower commodity is going to be affected. So you're going to make more money moving oil versus urea, which is the nitrogen fertilizer there. It's a lot of it's a byproduct of chemical processing. And so we haven't seen as much nitrogen fertilizer shipped through the strait. Also, there's the China effect. China, probably because of the ratcheting tensions in the Middle East, they had a lot of imports in the beginning of 2026. So a lot of early imports. Also, they were heavily affected by some rain. Now, most of China's wheat is domestic issues. They have 90% of their consumption what they grow internally. And so they only import 10% of their total wheat consumption from outside sources. So 9 out of 10 bushels they're getting from mainland China. The 10th bushel they import. They imported a whole lot early. And now that rain is starting to affect, we're not going to see the effects of that until, you get through what you have in the grain silos, get through what you have in the warehouses, and just in the supply chain, if you will. And so we might see a China effect on wheat. Now, there is a way to trade wheat, and that's going to be this wheat ETF or ETV here, Tecrium Wheat Fund, WEAT. But I want to show you this. Let's back up. Let's get into the charts again here. This is 2022. This had a huge run up. Why did wheat run up so hard here? Well, this was the Ukraine-Russian war. Well, look at this trend line, though. So if you take it from the top here to the top here, that's going to start intersecting with today's price action. Also, you have a pivot low. The pivot low here, pivot low there. This line is also going to interact with today's price action. So let's fast forward. Let's get in that DeLorean. Let's see if we can do 88 miles per hour. Vroom, vroom, vroom. Here we go. Boom. To the present day. We just left the Wild West. And now, what do you know? So this bottom trend line actually intersected with price action on July 23rd and July 22nd. And so if we do push up a little bit higher, folks, that is going to be resistance. Also intersecting with this is that pivot high trend line that is descending. And so we have a couple factors here, a double confluence pushing down or creating pressure for wheat. Now, I might see a pretty significant breakout. And so maybe we'll see something like this where the ball bounces and then has a smaller bounce and maybe a little dribble there. And then perhaps a little return of the scene of the crime. And then maybe we could have a nice breakthrough on wheat. I meant to move this one, maybe something like that. So keep an eye out on wheat. I do think wheat is potentially going to have a fairly large move at some point. Also, some of you eagle-eyed traders out there, you're probably seeing something here, a potential inverse head and shoulders. So we have our shoulder, we have our head, we have our other shoulder here. We draw our trend line. We'll have a pretty technical target for this one. And so you could say on this inverse head and shoulders, it's looking at that potential breakout already. But I'm still waiting for a retest. I don't know if I'll jump into this one already. I did play some wheat options in the past Options are just so volatile. When you're up in profit, just get in and get out. Get out of that trade there, folks. But let's go ahead and remove these lines. So keep an eye out on that. It does look like we are pulling back slightly. If we were doing the inverse head and shoulders, might be retesting the neckline as we speak, now waiting for that next bounce higher. So hopefully this helped you out understanding commodities, understanding what's happening in the world today and its effect on some of these things like the petroleum byproducts, the U.S. oil, the Brent, the NATGAS, also what we're seeing with food, folks. To put it bluntly, wheat is going to be affected more than corn by what we've seen here. And corn and wheat are two of the bigger commodities that are just easier to trade. You want something with a little bit of volume. You don't want to trade something that has very low volume. I was looking at urea, which is a fancy way of saying nitrogen fertilizer. I saw one of those ETFs. It had $15,000 in daily volume on average. Like, that's not something I would touch with the 10-foot pole. But the wheat ETF, that's something that, starts to look a little bit attractive. So go ahead, smash that like button. Let me know down below what precious metals you want me to cover in the future. Maybe I'll look at tungsten. I'll find some way to look at tungsten, folks. But I'm Nick Valdez. Thank you for joining. Make sure you hit that like button. If you're not subscribed, you're missing out, folks. We're putting out a lot of free content at verifiedinvesting.com. Highly recommend, you go check out that website if you want to learn more about trading and how to spot future trends, folks. That's all I got. Thank you for joining yet again. All right. Bye-bye.